the Celtics. I'll let you.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm gonna kick off with the Celtics. I know you got. I'm gonna kick off on the Celtics. Look, man. I'm gonna say this to them blue in the face, and as a black man, that takes a lot. Fire Joe Mazzulla, okay?
You're crazy.
Fire Joe
You're
Mazzulla.
crazy.
And I know that might be a hot take, but look, man.
That's crazy.
Back in the early 2000s, give you a history lesson. There was this head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His name was John Gruden.
Yeah. Oh
John Gruden
God.
came in his first year, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I got this good team in Tampa Bay. Have Warren Sapp, have Derek Brooks, have Work Done, have all these Hall of Famers. John Lynch, man, I am going to win a ring. And you know what he did? He won a ring. Did he earn that ring? Hell no. Because you know who helped build that team the year prior and the years prior? Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy got them to the conference finals years. And John Gruden came and just for timing just happened and he won a ring. This is what happens with Joe Mazzulla.
Are you saying Ime Udoka is Tony Dungy for the
I am
Celtics?
absolutely saying Ime
That's
Udoka is Tony Dungy.
crazy. No, let's
He
go
is
back further. It's Brad Stevens is the
right.
Tony
So
Dungy.
yes, he absolutely. That's what Ime is. Because look, Ime, as we saw in the Rockets Golden State series, makes adjustments. Joe Mazzulla thinks he's too good for adjustments. And that is the difference. And that's why Joe Mazzulla is a clown. And that's why he's an emperor with no clothes. I would get rid of Joe Mazzulla. I know they won't. I get it. He won a championship. But I'm telling you, 10 years from now, we're going to be calling Joe Mazzulla Doc Rivers. And these words will be right. We're going to be calling
No.
Joe Mazzulla Doc Rivers. Because this has Doc Rivers, John Gruden, all these one-hit wonders written all over it. All over it. Doc Rivers.
Wow.
Right place, right time, one run. Doc Rivers have been living off that one championship for 15 years, damn near. Joe
Wow.
Mazzulla will do the same thing. Look, next year, and this part is no fault of his own. No fault of his own. Next year, the Celtics gonna have to retool because of the second apron and the taxes. They've got new owners because they just sold the team. They're not going to want to pay all those luxury taxes. So there are going to be some tough decisions that's going to have to be made, and that team is not going to look the same. You're not going to get Tatum until the second half of the season at the earliest. If they even bring him back next year, depending on how bad they're playing, they might even bring him back. Porzingis probably won't be back. There's rumors that they're probably going to try to ship him someplace. So this team is not going to be the same team. And he is not a coach that can. He is not Ty Lue. He's not a coach where you can be like, hey, you give me a bunch of average players, and we're going to at least be a playoff team, or we're going to always be competitive. He is not Ty Lue. Now, listen, we've talked. I might be for Ty Lue. I don't think Ty Lue is a great coach, but what I do know about Ty Lue is he can get average players and coach them into a winning situation. This is not Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla has been lucky. He got Tatum, Brown, Drew, all these great players. He's never had to struggle. He don't have any struggle. He don't have no fight. He talks like he's got all this fight. He's had no fight. He's had no struggle. He's a rich kid that inherited $1 billion. And like, oh, my life is so hard. Oh my God. And so now we're gonna see how good of a coach he is. We already saw in the playoffs that he can't make adjustments. So we already know he can't do that, or he won't do it. Both had the same result. And so next year, when they don't have Tatum, and it's a Jalen Brown show, we'll see how good of a coach he is. But you get rid of him. He's not the one. He's not. And look, I don't even know who they get to replace him. Maybe bring Brad Stevens back from the front office. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. Listen, I don't have an answer for that. What I know what I see, and I see an overrated coach. I see an overrated, arrogant coach who just happened to be in the right place at the right time, like Doc Rivers, like John Gruden, and got a championship. And he will never sniff another ring again. Watch. And so that's what we learned about the Celtics, is that their coaching staff outside of Sam Cassell is trash.
Look at you sitting there with your smug face, just spewing blasphemy. Like I'm about to pull a Stephen A. Smith. I don't understand. Like, okay. Oh my god. All right. Maybe let me unlock my inner Stephen A. Smith. Uncle Third, I love you, man. You a good brother. You a good brother. But let's just stop the foolishness. Let's just stop right there real quick. Look, man, ain't they're not firing Joe Mazulla. Joe Mazulla is the reason that they got a ring. Brad Stevens set up, he was like the Mark Jackson of the Warriors, honestly, if you really think about it. He put the players together, he completed his role, he fulfilled his purpose. He is where he needs to be. He is the reason why the Celtics are so successful right now. Ime Udoka, he was there for what, maybe a year before getting fired because of that whole situation. But like he made an impact too. But Joe Mazzulla took it farther than where Ime Udoka could take him. Okay, they won the ring. They won a ring, which is well deserved. But I mean, do they beat a healthy Mavericks team? No, but regardless of whoever they were going to face in the last year or the year before in the finals, they earned it. They would have won them regardless. But saying firing Joe Mazzulla is completely bonkers. Like he is the embodiment of Celtic culture, grit, toughness, trash talk. Matter of fact, Joe Mazzulla is tougher than Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown mentally, and he is trying to get them to elevate their mindset of mental resiliency. Like, because the Celtics, Stephen A. Smith was right, the Celtics quit. You were right, the Celtics quit. Joe Mazzulla was not trying to have his team quit out on him because he's like, yo, we are champions. We have a history of winning multiple victories, multiple finals appearances. We have multiple trophies. And you want to fire that same guy that's trying to elevate his team and be like, toughen up. Y'all acting like some kids. Like I granted Jason Tatum hurt his wrist, but I'm on board with what he did. He told Jason Tatum, man, get up, get off the ground. Nigga, we pay you millions of dollars. Get off the ground. You on the get up. But like, bro, I'm not firing Joe Mazzulla. I'm getting rid of Al Horford. I like, please get him out of there. He like Jalen Brown said, he got 5 kids. It's time to stay home, spend time with your family. You had a great career, bro. You're done. Matter of fact, you should have retired after they won the finals. You're done. You're useless. You're a corpse on the court. Your knees probably creak every time you run on the court. Bro, get rid of him. Trading Drew Holiday, I'm keeping him for another year. Honestly, I would keep Drew Holiday for another year. I would tell Kristaps Porzingis to hit the gym, go to some rebounding classes, go to, like something, bro. But I'm not getting rid of Joe Mazzulla. I'm probably, honestly, and I'm glad you mentioned his name. I want the Clippers to fire Tyronn Lue as a head coach, and I want Tyronn Lue as an assistant head coach for the Celtics. Because Joe Mazzulla probably has more success with his defensive team, and Tyronn Lue is a great offensive coach, honestly. I think he'd be a great offensive coach for the Celtics because you are 100% correct. Tyronn Lue is great at creating a team of average players and making them a great team. I think Tyronn Lue just needs to give up the head coaching dream and just be an assistant coach. Still get paid a whole lot of money. He's got a great resume. He's won a ring that he did not earn himself. LeBron James gave him that ring, but man, you got me all discombobulated. My thoughts all over the place with this whole thing, with what you just said. Firing Joe Mazzulla is the craziest thing I have. heard you say so far on this podcast for the past 3 weeks, and I am flabbergasted.
I listen. Look, I could be wrong, but I doubt it.
No,
But
you're 100% wrong.
there is nothing about anything what Joe Mazzulla has done that convinced me that he's a good coach. The fact here's the thing: the fact that we even question it, a championship coach. And I'm not the only one that's questioning it. There's other people who are questioning, like, is he a good coach or is he in a good situation? You know who we're not? Listen, we question when it comes to Tom Thibodeau. We say he's a good coach, but he runs his players too hard. But we can say he's a good coach. We know he's a good coach. He's done it in multiple places, multiple rosters. He's a good coach. Is he a championship coach? To be determined. But we can say he's a good coach. We don't know that about Mazulla, man. We just don't. He is the rich son. He hasn't had to work. Listen, and I want to be very clear. I am not saying that what he's done prior in his life, like he hasn't worked hard to get to this point, because I'm not stupid. I am saying that this situation that was placed upon him, just timing, bad decisions by Ime, all that came together in a perfect storm, and he got elevated to a team that has arguably top 2 rosters in the league. So he won the championship, which he should have done with that team. Fine. But what happens, and let's be real, things were perfect last year, right? Things were perfect last year. So what happens when things aren't perfect? And we're starting to see that. When things aren't perfect, all of a sudden, the shooting 73 pointers don't seem like a good idea. And that's my thing with him, is that we've never seen him struggle. He had an opportunity to show us what he can do, and he didn't. He lost his best player. The shots weren't, and let's ignore everything past what Tatum went out game where they lost in 6.
Game 4.
Game 4. So let's erase everything. We don't care what game 5 and 6. Let's look at come game 1 to game 4. His team, he's supposed to be a defensive team. His team blew 20-point leads in the fourth quarter. His team, a healthy team, outside of KP, a healthy team, blew leads because they lost their minds, because he couldn't think like, hey guys, stop shooting the 3-pointers. Because he is so arrogant. I know everything. One say we need to make an adjustment. And that's my point. There isn't a championship coach who would see in game 1, oh man, we blew a lead because we kept shooting 3-pointers. Maybe we should, I know that's what we do, but okay, cool, stay the course. Game 2, same thing. Like, and these are home games. You can't even blame it because these are home games. He tricked off 2 home games with a healthy team. So that's my point. And game 4, game 4 when they lost, the genius of Joe Mazzulla. Hey guys, I know Tatum was able to go full court with that one play, easy, and got a quick dunk. You know what? Let's just do it again. I'm sure it's gonna work. Like he wasn't coaching against some rookie coach. He's coaching against Tom Thibodeau, whose thing is defense. So fool him once, cool. You're not gonna fool him twice. But he's like, I'm so smart. I am so smart. He'll never figure this out. And he did. He did easily. And there's and I'm gonna have this in it. The lasting image of Jason Tatum caught in the air in the corner trying to do a terrible pass to Jaylen Brown because the Knicks knew what they were going to do. So how can you look at how he coached this series? And the cherry on top, the Knicks didn't even play well in this series. They didn't even play well.
Oh
They
my
played.
God.
They played. You know what they did? They had great fourth quarters. But overall, when you look at the Knicks team as a whole,
Yeah.
they didn't they didn't play great in that series.
Yeah, it was the fourth quarter that they won all the time.
Right. The Celtics just were like, you know what? I know we're winning, but no worries. We'll take care of that ourselves.
That's
So
true. The
so
Celtics do have a history of doing that too, though.
right. So you can't. So this is what I'm saying. Us being convinced that he's a good coach, I don't think he's earned that. And I know he's got a championship, and that's why people are going to fall back on. But he hasn't, after the way he coached in this series, he hasn't earned any benefit of the doubt. I mean, honestly, he didn't coach that well in the Orlando series. I mean, Orlando, they are a way better team than Orlando, and those games were way tighter than what they should have been. Way tighter than they should have been.
But
So,
like that's the whole point of Joe Mazzulla, though. Like Jalen Brown's complaining about like, oh, if they want to play physical, we'll play physical. They want to fight, we can fight too. Well, yeah, it's the playoffs. Joe Mazzulla is telling them like, bro, wake up! Like it's the playoffs. They're fighting for a ring. You can't
mhm.
just sit there and be like, oh, well, play nice with me. We're fighting to play a ring. But I think Joe Mazzulla deserves the benefit of the doubt because he's adding toughness to this team. I think next year we'll see some major roster moves, but Joe Mazzulla is definitely going to earn the title, has deserved the title, a great coach.